Grand Rising. How are you guys doing? Happy Tuesday. Today is Mars Day. I believe Mars is in... Pardon me for the noise. I like to keep the door open while I'm doing my readings, but I didn't wake up that early before the neighborhood is up. The neighbors is up, I should say. So he's over there cleaning out his car. So, and I like to, like I said, keep the door open because I feel like the connection with nature, you know, allows me to be just more connected to my nature, connected to nature, and that's connected to us all. Nature's connected to us all. So I feel like I'm just more connected, you know? So that word and message is more like, boom. Like, I'm more confident, too. Like, boom. I know, like, it's just so hard to sense. It's like nature has my back and whatever message. I'm feeling the weather, the temperature, the sun, the trees, the birds. It's just all of it all together is just amplifying, you know, my confidence in the message and knowing, like, okay, whatever I'm saying right now is backed by nature because I'm feeling all nature. Like I'm like spoiled by nature right now. Like I'm out here, I'm feeling nature, smelling nature, in nature. So no way this message is not going to be accurate because I'm supported, right? So that's how I look at it. So I had to close the door so y'all can hear the message. Ooh, card is all over the place. Yeah, so y'all can hear the message. Yeah, so I hope you guys can hear me. We're back. Yeah. So how are you guys enjoying? How are you guys feeling this energy of the full moon being in Scorpio? Anything deep, anything transformated, anything like, you know, transforming or some type of like change, something that, you know, was long overdue. Maybe some deep things are coming, maybe some sex because the full moon is in the 25th degree, which is the Aries degree. Aries is sex, real sex as well. So maybe a lot of, you know, thoughts or maybe a lot of engaging in sexual activities or, you know, a lot of deep sexual thoughts or, as well as, maybe power, some situations of power having to play out. Maybe someone trying to exercise power on you and you're like, what the? You got me fucked up. Or you exercising too much power on your surrounding, you know, those around us, and maybe you have to take a step back. Maybe, you know, you're putting, you know, a little too much and you're like, okay, I see how, you know, I could have got, you know, so it comes with awareness too. I don't know how some of us, but that's what we should be leading to, is being aware of, you know, our energies that we're putting out. So this way we're held accountable to our change, to how we want to better ourselves. If we're putting power out on our family member and you know that causes friction and you're trying to better yourself in that area, maybe you should try toning it down or trying to find different avenues or trying to work through that. Because we're not perfect, right? We have things we have to work on in order for us to transform, in order to be better in all situations. Like, yeah, be an asshole, that's just my boo. But then you carry that same trait maybe at work and you don't know you're doing that, you know, towards your coworker or something. So those are things that we have to work, because how we treat our relationships, especially the ones closest to us, is, you know, it's like how we kind of stay stuck, you know, how we kind of stay stuck, because like, it's like how we treat, how we transform, how we're able to transform our relationship, transform a relationship even with ourselves, or transform a relationship with the people in our lives. And, you know, like before, maybe your mom, you know, always was like, you know, keeping all these old traditional thoughts, and, you know, you wouldn't, you know, to live with a man, you have to be married, to have sex with a man, you have to be married, all these traditional thoughts, right? And then now is like you're becoming more aware, you know, you're experiencing, you're reading more, you're just experiencing more, and realize like, boom, you know. But now it's like, since you were growing up, you always held, you know, you always were trying to honor your mom in her, you know, her beliefs, because, you know, that's her mom. We do that all the time. You know, I'm not going to have sex before marriage because that's what my mom, you know, I want to honor her. Right? So it's like, now that you're more aware and you're experiencing, you're becoming more into yourself, is like, and you're kind of like afraid to kind of let her know, like, boom, it's not like that, girl. I'm getting my shit rocked at nighttime because, you know, that's, you know, my life calls. You know, I like this dude. I'm feeling him. He looks good, and I'm doing what I gotta do, you know, to make myself happy at the time. So yeah, and it's like you're kind of afraid to mention that. So it's like, how is your relationship going to transform? How's that relationship going to transform if every time your mom, she's going to be like, oh my God, did you find that boo? And then, you know, deep down in your mind is like, boom, I've been free. I've been doing whatever the hell I want to do. But in your mom's mindset, she's going to keep coming to you with that same energy of not having sex before marriage or whatever, because that's what she's instilling in you. And that's the energy that you're kind of putting out, because you're kind of afraid to put out the other energy because you're afraid of the backlash. But that's what I'm talking about as far as the relationships needing to transform. Sometimes, like, even with our parents, those are like the biggest ones, because we come from backgrounds, we come from certain ways that were instilled in us, and to kind of leave from those cycles, leave from those things that we're accustomed to doing, like eating a certain way and just celebrating Christmas and doing this. It's kind of hard to do those things. But in doing so, you kind of do like transform maybe a thought pattern. You transform, like, boom, oh my God, my son's not coming around for Christmas. Why? He says he's not coming around for Christmas because he doesn't believe in all these pagan holidays. He doesn't celebrate da-da-da-da-da. Now that's the conversation, and it sparks interest, and you know, you move forward. Now they know not to look for you at Christmas time, because you set that boundary, but it kind of like, you know, it kind of like move your relationship forward. Yeah, you're not kissing ass. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable for them because they used to seeing, you know, you at Christmas, but now, you know, it changed. That's just like simple ways like that is how our relationships can transform. And I think that's like very important in knowing like what it is, like our purpose here is like making sure like our relationships, even with ourselves and relationships with those around us, are you're like transforming them in some type of way. You're like breaking the cycle, breaking the curse that keeps you bound. Like, let's say you and your husband, you're always fighting. That shit is not keeping you guys nowhere. So it's keeping you bound. And it's like, eventually, to work through and to get out of whatever, you're going to have to work through that relationship, work through that tick. So it's like, you know, leaving other people, or not, you know, trying to, that little hurdle, you know, it's like we're always going to face people. Like, you have a shitty attitude towards, you know, your partner, and you put it under the rug. But that shitty attitude is going to show up in some way, somehow, in another situation. And that's what I'm trying to get us to understand. Is like, even though, like, okay, my partner can take that, I feel like the whole point of us just being here is to work on our character, work on ourselves, work on our relationships, our relationship with ourselves and relationship with others. How are we coming off so we can transform, so we don't have to be in the same state? How come me and my husband don't get along because we're always fighting, we're always doing that? How can I transform this so we can change, so we can grow? Same thing with my mom. My mom believes that I'm not having sex, you know, before marriage. Every time I speak to her, it's the same stagnant conversation. How can I transform this so even if I'm doing whatever I have to do, but just transform the vibration in our conversation? I don't want to keep hearing like, oh, this sex before marriage thing, because I'm already living my life doing what I have to do. So yeah, I hope that was a little bit easy for to understand, but, and why, because yeah. So yeah, let's get back to the reading before I go on my tangent of relationships and transform. But that's interesting how I'm mentioning that, because The moon is in Scorpio. I was going to say 7th house. Oh, yeah, they are. Look, the moon is in Scorpio. It was in Scorpio, but now it's in Sag. So kind of like it's false. But look, at least with the full moon energy, or maybe the full moon energy is still in the air. The moon was in Scorpio, and right now the sun is in Taurus. The moon being in Scorpio, Scorpio has a lot to do with transformation, things like that. With Taurus being the sun, you want to see the relationship between the moon and the sun to kind of get a feel of what the collective energy is going to be like. And with the sun being in the first, if you put the sun on the rise and then put Scorpio, the sun on the rise being Taurus, and then you put Scorpio in its sign as the moon, you would see that from Taurus to Scorpio, there are 7 houses away from each other. And the 7th house has a lot to do with our relationships. And then I said Scorpio's transformation. So that could have been that connection, especially being the fact that the full moon is still here, even though it's in the sign of Sagittarius right now. I feel like that, that's the reason why I had that little tangent over there, just to make that connection. Okay. All right. But I'm done now. And we're going to get back to this reading because there is a word that needs to be said, that needs to be heard, that needs to be listened to, because it's for one of us to hear, so we can figure out what the hell is going on within our lives, within our journeys, maybe to figure out some more clarity. So we can move forward along our journeys, because our journeys, we got things to do. We don't got no time to waste. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this nice, simple, and short for us. Okay, so today's energy, has spiritual type of sense to it. Interesting, because I didn't do my full moon ritual, and I know I have to catch up either today or tomorrow. To catch up, because you do have three days. I said 3 to get the full moon energy, and by maybe charging, get the fullness of this energy. You usually have 3 days to utilize it. So what I see with this energy is like spiritual. Usually when I pull a page of Cups, it usually always has some type of spiritual, maybe intuitive message, some type of guidance, some type of, pay attention to your intuition, to pay attention to little, synchronicities and your intuition, your imaginary things that you imagine, things that vision, things that will pop up, words and voices and the little things that will pop up. Pay attention to those things, because they're going to provide some type of clarity for your day. What I see is like a deep contemplation, deep meditation. So yeah, it's like deep meditation, deep contemplation, deep thoughts, maybe receiving some type of deep thought, deep downloads, spiritually. Could really be rest, because with Pisces, see the fish here, Pisces is rest. And when you see him here, the connection could really be rest. Connection is really, I see it, spiritual, and it's really mental, this energy, really mental, really, you thinking, maybe overthinking, really deep contemplation, maybe spiritual, maybe receiving some spiritual downloads, you're feeling more connected to your intuition. Deep, contemplation is not really moving like a action type of energy. It's more like, okay, Spirit said like reflective and more thinking, more reflective thinking mixed with, receiving some type of download, or, some type of insight, some type of vision, some type of connection, some type of, like I'm really sensing this energy. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate it, but I'm going to keep going, because I like doing tarot reading just because of this. Because even though I feel like I'm not the best at this, I feel like it helps me to dive deeper, helps me to get connected to what my spiritual guides will want you guys to listen to, and just diving deeper into really looking at these images and really using all that I know, all that I learned, and all that's within me from, you know, my guides guiding me or whatever, spirit, and just using all of that and, you know, really providing you guys with a message. So yeah, it's really some beautiful things. And I love it. I love it. And you know, I know I'm not the best. I know I should sit here and I struggle plenty of times, but I love just to dive deeper and not to get it sometimes like, what is it? Like, it's so hard to explain what I'm doing, but it's like, yeah, I see that, I see this. I know there's a connection. I know this is Pisces and he's sleeping Pisces with the sleep and deep contemplation. It's like, and then you see the church here and then Pisces with the spiritual, and then you can mix it. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing. Hopefully you guys were able to really receive the message, receive something from this, because that is the whole point, you know. But if not, you guys have tomorrow. And yeah, I'll be here tomorrow making it happen. So if it didn't resonate today, I'm sure tomorrow there'll be something juicy for you guys in store. Until again, I'll see you guys again mañana. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays. Today's Mars Day. And enjoy the rest of this full moon energy, which is now in Sagittarius. Like I said, full moon's a time to get in the baths, charge up your crystals. You know, this is a full moon, so maybe you want to release. You're trying to really get rid of an energy that is, you know, helping you from progressing. So you really, you know, write that down, burn it, really trying to, you know, pay attention to these things so we can get to the next level. That's the whole point, is us getting to the next level. And this is really, I don't know if you guys feel the energy is a full moon, but it really is a different energy. It really is more amplified. You really are more supported. So please utilize this energy because we only got about 2 days. So yeah, y'all, light a candle, get in your baths, burn, you know, your little petition, charge your stones, you know, do your tarot readings, pull out your card, do your tarot readings for the full moon to see what the full moon energy is going to be like within 2 weeks. What else do I like to do during the full moon to reset? You know, yeah, just resetting the energy so that we're able to be charged for our next, you know, phase, the next cycle that is here. And nature is here to support us, y'all. We're not here to do it alone. We got support. So please utilize it. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. And let's be healthy and safe in these streets. Peace.